Hello and welcome to another episode of the NK Active podcast. We are joined by India, our latest podiatrist here at NK Active, and almost a bit of a tradition is the case of, well, let's ask India a few questions to find a bit about her. So firstly, thank you for agreeing. Well, I say agreeing. I don't know whether it was maybe forced.
I'm not sure I've agreed.
Not sure you've agreed to come on. Maybe it is forced. So sort of tell us about your journey to how you've now got to the point being part of the NK Active team.
So I have been working in private practice ever since qualifying. I've worked for a few local private practices. And then after the pandemic, during the pandemic, I started a single chair clinic myself where I was renting a room. And then found that I was wanting to broaden my skill set and offer a different range of treatment options for my patients. And I got talking with Nick and we decided to join forces. Yeah,
it was quite right because you had come to one of our little CPD days and then it's one of those random things of we've had a chat and then there's a case of, well, you just want to come join us.
It kind of made sense, didn't it?
And then you were like, yeah, no, that was simple.
Yeah.
It's sort of like no interview stuff, nothing like that. It was just a couple of conversations and it just...
We both took a bit of a risk, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know each other.
No, and it's working out. You haven't handed your notice in yet. It's sort of you're still here. So are there any sort of particular conditions that you like treating?
I like doing things where people feel better, obviously. Yeah. The quick fixes like nail surgery are always good because you know you're going to make somebody feel better. But I suppose the things I really like are building relationships with patients and seeing them come from my practice in Romsey to come here. And they've obviously chosen to stay with me and they trust me, and that gives me the biggest satisfaction. Yeah.
You do have a bit of reputation in the area because we had some adverts in the local paper.
Some huge adverts in the local paper.
Just speaking about Verruca advice, and then you've got to a point where you've got friends and family WhatsApping you pictures of you and
people on the school run, people in Waitrose,
just sending you pictures of you.
I'm the Romsey Verruca lady now. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad reputation to have, really, is it?
I don't know.
So, where is it you want to go? What do you want to develop?
I would like to learn more about rehabilitation and musculoskeletal injuries and helping people stay active in terms of their fitness and muscle strength. So I'd like to do that. And also I want to learn more about bracing and Ritchie bracing in particular.
Yeah, well, you've come to the right team because that's the core of what we do here. So we'll come back to like podiatry stuff in a minute, but some random questions. Favourite movie?
Titanic.
No, I wasn't expecting that. It's a bit of a tragic ending, that one.
Love a tragic ending. Wow. Do not like a happy ending.
No, well, you can't get much more tragic than Titanic. Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Pineapple on pizza?
100%.
Yes.
Sorry, Dave.
So Dave, you can't obviously, if you're watching this, you can't see Dave sort of just checking the camera and Dave is just shaking his head. He does not agree with...
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I do.
Oh, phew.
Yeah.
It's okay then, and it's a happy relationship.
So I'd even get a pineapple, cut it into chunks and put it on the barbecue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. With my well done steak.
Well, hang on. I draw the line at that. You can't have a well done, just a well done
pineapple
steak. Is sort of favourite sport or exercise?
Swimming.
Yeah, the swimming's not... I swim like a brick with fins.
You can help me with team sports and I'll help you with swimming.
But there we go. Sold. It's sort of... We could have our own sort of duathlon travel. You and Charlie can swim. Dave, I reckon when he run, Dave can bike, I'll do the running, or Dave could run and I do the bike. There we go.
I think we should do that.
We should tag team
Genuinely.
it. There we go.
That would be really fun.
We should go for Ironman distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not a hope in hell I'm swimming 3.2 miles.
Oh, I could do that, and Charlie could do that.
Run a marathon, not a problem. Cycle over 100 miles, yeah, but swimming, yeah, it's not for me. So going back to podiatry stuff, what's the reason you became a podiatrist? What's your story?
I had an ingrown toenail myself.
Yeah.
And it was really affecting my life. It was horrible. And I went to see a local podiatrist, and she helped me and she sorted me. And then she said if I wanted to do any experience with her, I could. So I did. I took her up on that. And I hadn't done a degree. And I thought I wanted to do something with my hands and something clinical. I couldn't stand just being sat behind a desk all day, not having a purpose. And I really liked it. Yeah,
it's. I'm not a desk person. I couldn't. No. I think I couldn't sit behind. It's not for me. Sort of desk job. So, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yep, fire away.
What's going to be the start of my learning journey here?
So the way that we want to do is try to do something different here, in that we've realised in sort of private practice, in podiatry and most other therapy worlds, is that there is no set training pathway. We've developed our own in-house training pathways that we've already, myself and Charlie during lockdown, is recorded a lot of stuff around, okay, how do we go through the initial appointment process? How do we form a diagnosis? How do we form a treatment plan? Mm-hmm. And it's all done in bite-sized learning. And currently the beauty is the only way you can get access to that has been part of the NK Active team. It's not publicly available, and it has its own website, its own domain. And the idea is you start going through that. It will take you about 30 hours to go through it. There are touch points where you then sit down with myself, Charlie and Dave, and then we start asking questions. There will be a bit of an exam at the end, just so we can then test the knowledge.
As long as I don't have to write an essay.
No, it's not writing. And
I could do an exam.
Well, you could write an essay and I could mark it. And being severely dyslexic, it is sort of
we wouldn't get very far.
I wouldn't get very far.
We'll get Charlie to mark.
Get Charlie to mark it. Yeah, it's But then after that, we then know that okay, you're then at a base level, and then it's about them building the experience. But I feel we need to get some people at a base level, at the same level, so we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. And I reckon to do that is going to be a 3 to 6 month journey, depending on how much you can fit in your own time, how much you fit in clinical time, and what the idea is to make it work for you, not you must spend 10 hours a week doing this, because that just doesn't work. You need to start blending it with clinical practice. So you learn something, you then put it to use. But then that's the beauty of having the experience in the team, is that we can then spend time, well, you designing a rehab program for us, we design one for you. You then physically go through the rehab. You learn how to do all the Run 3D reporting. You physically do all that. So there is a structure, but then a lot of it is then based on then building into clinical areas. Then once you're at a certain level, we'll then turn and say, right, you can then start offering all those MSK-based appointments. And to my knowledge, no one else is really doing this in private practice, and it's not even really done much, to my knowledge, in the NHS setting. So it's something that I'm quite excited about. And then we then have even then bigger plans. Then once you've then got through it and where you are, is then maybe then looking at almost like a preceptorship scheme. So people who have recently qualified could come spend a year with us. Can't guarantee a job at the end of it, but we can guarantee some training. And then if they then got a desire to work in the MSK world, they've then got a solid year's worth of education and practice. And if we can offer a job,
I think that's the way forwards, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because in our world, it is. If you look at the medicine model, there's very much, you do your foundation years, you do your specialty training years, you become a GP or consultant at the end of it. But in podiatry, physio world, there is no structure. If I want to work in an MSK podiatry based or rehab clinic, there is no structured way do it. And it's the question,
And everybody's doing something different.
yeah, and it's the question that I get asked on such a regular basis on how do I get to where I got to? Where do we? And it's one of those things that I got to where I got to by near enough spending the majority of my annual leave by sitting in with people like Trevor Pryor, meeting up with Emma Cowley, Dr. Nat Padia, people like that, and just going and learning from those people. But I realised that's great, and people should do that, but it's not sustainable.
No.
So actually,
it's not going to be able to help everyone, is it?
No. So why, in my opinion, clinics like NK Active, we should be offering that in-house educational training pathway. And yeah, so that's, I think, the journey that you'll go on. And to beauty is, you're going to be the first person to go on this.
Oh my goodness, I'm a guinea pig.
So you're a guinea pig. So then at the end of it, we're going to turn around and say, right, how can we make this better? And then most probably re-record the whole thing, because we designed it to think, right, this is what we think it will work, but it will be reliant on your feedback to then say, well, that worked, that didn't work. And it's just like working with patients. You build a rehab plan, you find out what works, what doesn't work, you then adapt, you move on, but you still get to your goal, but then maybe a few bumps along the way.
And changes in the goal.
Yeah, this is the biggest thing, is that you'll have your aspirations now, you'll achieve it, and then you'll naturally go, well, actually, I want to do this. So bigger visions within NK Active is to be able to turn and say, right, there's a set career progression pathway in place that means that, right, if you want to achieve this is what you need to do to achieve X, Y, and Z. So you don't feel you get to a point where you're in a role, you're stuck in it, you feel you can't never progress out of. But then there's also not the pressure of, if you want to get to a certain level and stop there, that's absolutely fine. It's not everyone's going to want to be at the very top, because we've all got different goals, different aspirations. The idea is to build things that work for all different types of people. That's a very long-winded way to answer.
It answered all the questions that I could possibly ask you.
Answer all the questions. A favourite song? I'm going to go back to the silly stuff now.
Oh, God, that's really tricky. I don't even know. What's your favourite song?
So it'll be one of, depending what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
It will be either Buck Rogers' Feeder.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Or Pretender, Foo Fighters.
Another good song.
Yeah, two good songs.
Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon, yeah, not too bad. I still listen to my older stuff now, really. So what days are you working at NK Active?
I'm here on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Currently, with the aim, we're looking to expand. Yeah. And we're already having chats now about, okay, how can we expand that already? Because you're already getting busier and busier.
So busy, yeah.
It's a good problem to have. Yes. Isn't it? Any other questions for me?
Any exciting new things happening with the clinic?
So we just have, if you're watching or listening to this and you're local to Romsey, you've most probably seen India's face without the verruca. So we just had our Swift machine, which is one of the best way to help try and get rid of and treat verrucas. So we're excited about that coming into that's
very exciting.
Yeah, it fits with the NK Active ethos of trying to resolve problems, and currently, as it stands from an evidence viewpoint, it is most probably one of the best, if not the best way to help resolve verrucas, which aren't always a problem, but if they are, they can be really irritating. It's like an ingrown toenail. People think, oh, it's a foot. It's not an issue. But until you have one that is problematic, you don't realise how much of an inconvenience
Absolutely.
it is and how much of a problem.
And it's so nice having something that we can actually say, yeah, we can help with that.
Yeah.
And it will help.
Yeah. And we'll audit all our data and all our outcomes like we do anyway. And let's see, but that's our latest thing. There'll be more to come that I'm working on in the background at the moment, but
exciting. It's
not public knowledge yet, so I'll keep that one to myself.
Okay.
So I was going to say thank you for agreeing to come on. And thank you all for listening. Hopefully you've all got now a bit more about India and get to know who India is. So if you have any questions or comments or if you want to tell us who your favourite band is or your pizza.
Song.
Actually, no, let's start the pineapple on pizza.
Well, let's do that.
No. If you let us know
Vicious.
if you put pineapple on pizza and what you think about it. So please do subscribe to the podcast, and we shall see you on the next episode. See you later. Bye.